Speedwagon is an interdisciplinary performing artist whose work has been shown around the nightclubs and lofts of New York City. Ariel's inherently interdisciplinary work has taken many forms: interactive sculpture, modern dance and dance theater, drag performance and burlesque, collective map making, clowning, and an artistic interrogation into the nature and form of the kitchen sink. I know you're just as interested as I am. Please welcome Ariel Speedwagon.
It's always really funny seeing which bio people pull.
Ariel!
Woo! So I'm psyched that it's Pride Week. I can't be cynical about it. I'm still that little kid, being a little younger when I came out, like 13 or 14 years old. And just looking, I remember I grew up in Seattle, looking around and just being like, this? This? That? What? Whoa, that? And it's so hard, and I think even now, or I know even now as I get older, that I love it, and I can't not, even as I'm blah blah blah, I'm cranky now, blah blah blah, it's corporate, blah blah blah, politicians, blah blah blah, it's so fucking long, where's my Disney, no, martini, nonetheless, I love it, and there's that little part of me that's still looking around in awe more than anything. And so I grew up going to Pride. I had the lucky fortune of being a kid in a place where there were gay role models, even at 13, right, in Seattle. It's real gay there. Back when Dan Savage was still Hey Faggot, you know, it had a radio show. It's true. Somebody must remember that, maybe not. All right. And so I held that magic with me. And then I came to New York, as so many people do, and I realized, I came to New York, and I was 22 years old, and I went out and I joined the gay flag team, because what else would you do when you come to New York? You join the gay flag team, and I did. And so we marched at the very front of the Pride Parade with the, or maybe the, you know, there's the dykes on the bikes, and then there's all of the marshals, and then there are the Stonewall veterans, and then there's the marching band, and with the marching band goes the flag team. And so we were marching, proud, doing our little flag routines. It's all very festive. What's gayer than a color guard? I'm not sure. And then we got to the point in the march where everybody stops. And there's a moment of silence, which they don't do in the Pride March in Seattle. But here in New York, there's a moment of silence to remember everyone who passed. And when we were in the parade and that happened, we were actually more or less right in front of the Stonewall. And it was a moment for me, you know, 22 and wearing too many rainbows everywhere, where I realized that there's actually a very complicated legacy to being a gay kid. You know, I was 13 after protease inhibitors, right? It's a different world. And so it's funny to go into Pride Week having learned a little bit more about this complication, and what it is to be on both sides of this, you know, what it is to like claim this life in the middle of a city that's also held so much of that death. And it's funny, because it gets better sometimes, right? And sometimes it gets worse. And holding that, I think, is hard. You know, I had, and this is the moment where I'm going to do something I don't do much, is get teary on stage. I had a friend die yesterday on their own terms, I guess is the best way to put it. And, you know, going into Pride and going into this and having to learn what it is to put on those rainbow socks or put on that rainbow necklace and walk down that parade, even as I know this happened, I think is at the heart of a certain kind of bravery that homosexuals and their extended family are really good at, because we have to be. And I don't like to eulogize, and it's not really time yet, and I don't think it's my place in terms of how I knew this person, but I'm working, but I'm kind of going to anyway, just to be fair, but it's not exactly that. I think that's what I have to say. I hope the moment you passed, you flew up to gay heaven, and the moment you got there, it was warm, and there was a drag queen smiling at you from the gate. I hope your suspenders matched her dress, and I hope she notices it and compliments you, and I hope you know that she means it, and you feel that in your bones, and your shoulders start to relax. And I hope as you walk through that gate, you are greeted by everyone. And I hope there is a disco ball, and I hope there is a pool table where you always win, and I hope there is music. I hope the music is Whitney Houston playing an acoustic set live, because she wants to. I hope you hang out with Whitney later and you talk about how she mixed her songs and, you know, what is she thinking on that record. And I hope she tells you what she was thinking on that record. And I hope little by little you get so engrossed in the conversation you forget to keep an eye on the door. I hope once you get there, there are cathartic sessions where homophobes get brought up from hell and you and all of your new entry friends punch and slap and kick and throw and scratch and bite until you are done for the day. I hope the Kleenex in that room is really soft. I hope they don't ask you to stop. I hope you get to fight back, and I hope you always win. And then I hope there is a perfectly mixed cocktail waiting for you once you've dried your tears. I hope you get to do that again and again and again and the next day and the next day until finally you don't need to. And at that moment, I hope you walk out and the sky is blue and the air smells like spring and the sun is yellow, the grass is soft and green, and I hope you say hi to everyone, new friends, old friends, and no one really asks you, are you girl, ma'am, sir, because it doesn't matter anymore once you get to gay heaven. Everyone is over it. They do it with who they want to. We've stopped keeping that particular score. I hope you do it with them. I hope you do it a lot with them. I hope it feels good every time. I hope every time you do it, you remember all of us down here on earth who loves you, and I hope every time you do it, a little part of you comes back down. And I hope the people who love you most get happy, really happy, and they don't even know why, but it makes them think of your smile. I hope there are unicorns in gay heaven. I hope there are badass unicorns in gay heaven. They don't take shit from anybody. I hope they ride you around, you and that badass unicorn, and they take you places like the disco and the beach and the rodeo and the library, and I hope you get to be friends with all of them. I hope you learn how to ride them and get really good at it, doing little tricks, and I hope their unicorn hooves kick up little pieces of whatever it is on the floor in gay heaven, and I hope those pieces float back and make a rainbow over Brooklyn with your initials in the corner. I hope there are a lot of classes in gay heaven. I hope you learn to macrame and knit and decoupage and arrange flowers and build houses and fix cars and raise and pickle vegetables. And most of all, I hope you take the whole course in throwing shade from neck roll 101 and slant eye 098 all the way up to graduate level snapping in Z's until you beat all of gay heaven in a shade off. And everyone laughs and goes to drink seltzer because it's fun when it's not self-defense. I hope you take those skills and team up with your unicorn friends and all of the other dead gays up there, and I hope in gay heaven you organize, because you're an organizer, you organize a whole army of dead multi-gender spirits patrolling Earth from the skies, spring into motion whenever someone is being attacked and throwing down great oceans of glamorous anger until whatever terrible person is doing that terrible thing chokes to death on glitter and drowns in rainbows. I hope you take your newfound knitting skills and knit a net of the softest clouds and disco lights, and I hope you hang it under every tall building and coat the blade of every knife so that everyone like you, before they give up, see one last glint of magic and wonder about tomorrow. I hope you wrap every big, hopeless heart in that net and hold it until it relaxes into it. I hope you dance until you collapse in the corner, and I hope when you collapse, sweating, you smile and you remember a new kind of tired, one that comes from joy more than pain. Thank you.